Hello, my name's Hot Highway, and I'm kind of starting a YouTube channel here, or at least trying to. Um, and I'd like to showcase some of my favorite commander decks, and I'd like to kind of move into making Magic the Gathering gameplay videos with some of my friends later down the line. But I thought it'd be fun to showcase some of my commander decks that I've built and have fun playing. Now, I will say that a lot of my decks aren't really designed necessarily for winning. I I I don't typically run things that, win like turn 3, 4 kind of stuff, but I do like to have fun and I'd like to share some of that fun with you guys here today. So, my first deck that I'm showcasing is probably one of the most flavorful decks that I have, and it is two partner commanders, Breaches and Malcolm. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what these cards do, Malcolm, whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. Breaches has Menace, and whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were any mana of any color to cast those spells. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, changelings and pingers. I could have definitely taken that route, but I didn't. I chose to go full-on pirate ensemble. Because nothing is more fun than sitting down at a table and just yelling, "Yarg, ya mateys. Pirates." Alright? So let's go through some of the creatures that I run in my pirate deck. I've got Stormfleet Sprinter because it's hasty and can't be blocked. Time Stream Navigator for extra turns. I've got Hull Breacher because Hull Breacher. Magus of the Wheel for a wheel effect. I've got Dockside Extortionist. Burnished Heart for ramp. Captain Lannery Storm, ramp. Dire Fleet Daredevil. I mean, you kind of have to run this card in a pirate deck, I think. Being able to take instants or sorcery spells is fantastic. And it could necessarily change the game if, you need it. Merchant Raiders to tap down creatures. I'm running a lot of pirates, so it kind of makes sense to tap down a lot of creatures. Port Raiser to get extra combat steps, and also it's a fun card. Coastline Marauders. I like its encore effect, and I also like the fact that it's a big beefy pirate pretty much all the time. Wily Goblin, just for an extra treasure. Spectral Sailor. Protein Raider. Glasspool Mimic, which also is one of the MDFC cards. Glasspool Shore. Warkite Marauder. Kari Zev, Skyship Raider, who also generates a monkey when she attacks. Emberwild Captain, because who doesn't want to be the monarch? And it also deals damage to my opponents when they attack me, which generates more treasures with Malcolm. Taurine Mauler, because best pirate ever. Coercive Recruiter, because it lets me take other people's creatures and turn them into pirates. Ghost of Ramirez. It's just a pretty decent pirate to have in the deck. I also really love these full art cards. Or fetched oil cards, I'm sorry. I've got Zara, Renegade Recruiter. Again, I like taking people's creatures or planeswalkers and just kind of attacking people with them. That's kind of what I want to do here. So Zara is perfect. I've got Captain Vargas Wrath. I really like his ability. But also, I plan on playing these guys a lot because they're probably going to get destroyed. So being able to pump my creatures by +2, +2, +3, +3, +4, +4 can get pretty out of hand pretty fast. Phyrexian Metamorph to have other pirates. Siren Stormtaber. And Lightning Recruit. Now, this card is kind of a must-include in a deck like this. And I very much like to have a Glinthorn Buccaneer, but I don't have one yet. But Lightning Recruit, basically, it's a pinger, but whenever I cast the Pirate spell, untap Lightning Recruit. So I've had games where I've been able to do this like 6 or 7 times, ping everybody for 1, make 3 treasures. Everyone shows me, the top card of their library, and I can play it. And it just gets out of hand really fast unless they take care of the Lightning Recruit. So moving on to enchantments. A lot of my enchantments and sorceries are designed to help me draw cards. That's kind of where I put the build here, but also to help generate treasures. So first, Rhystic Study. And then I've got 2 enchantments that whenever a creature deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So I've got Bident of Thassa, which also has the added benefit of making your creatures unblockable, making your opponents have to attack. So then they're pretty much open and free for you to attack them next turn. And then I've also got Coastal Piracy, because pirates. And then Thassa, God of the Sea, for the Scry effect, and can also make your creatures unblockable. Curse of Opulence, you can help generate treasures. Now you can put this on yourself and generate 2 treasures. Or you could put it on an opponent and kind of make them attack them, and you also get the added benefit of getting treasures. And then I've got Mechanized Production as an alternate win condition, because treasures are, kind of my deal on this deck. And it can get out of hand with the amount of treasures you could get. And it's just nice to have an extra win condition to have. It's very similar to Revel and Riches, where you're not necessarily counting on the win condition to win, but it's great when it does. All right, so moving on to artifacts. Now, a lot of these are ramp spells, or ramp cards, the traditional ones. I don't have a lot of money, so I don't do like the Mana Crypt and whatnot. But at one point, I'll probably put them in here. So I've got Mind Stone, Commander Sphere, Worn Power Stone, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and the Wafer's Bauble. And then I also have Swiftfoot Boots to make some hasty pirates. Heirloom Blade, which has actually been a really, really awesome card in this deck, because you equip it to a pirate, they get beefy, then it dies, and then you just get another pirate to equip it to. Treasure Mat, because, treasures, and it's, on point. And then you saw that I had Hull Breacher, so I've got some cards in here that work with Hull Breacher, such as Wheel of Misfortune and Windfall, in addition to the Magus that you saw earlier. And then to make my creatures unblockable, I've got Cosmotronic Wave. Cosmotronic Wave deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, and creatures your opponents can't block. So you just get your pirates through and deal a bunch of damage. Open into Wander, which makes your creatures unblockable, and you get to draw a card for each one that gets through. And then we move on to sorceries. I've got Karn's Temporal Sundering for an extra turn, and also as a bounce spell to return something to someone's hand. Chart a Course on flavor. Faithless Looting. Bribery, because I want to steal your creatures. Preordain. And Treasure Cruise, because what pirate is complete without their ship? And then for a board wipe, I've got Blasphemous Act. And I haven't come across any other board wipes yet that I want to include in here, because the idea is that maybe I'll get one off my opponent. And I probably should have another one in here. When I get that far, I will think about it. Now, my single target removal is pretty much what I have in mind for my instance. So we'll go through some of those. I've got Chaos Warp, Arcane Denial, Is It Charm, Negates, Reality Shift, and 2 of the counter spells that you're like, oh man, those are bad. Well, one is Hornswoggle, but gets me a treasure and pirates, and Spell Swindle to generate a bunch of treasures. Then I also have Wild Ricochet to copy people's spells. Cryptic Command, which does 4 different things, but mostly the biggest thing is to tap all creatures your opponents control, which allows your pirates to get through. And you can counter a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand, which you're not really going to use a whole lot unless you use that with Zara. Or you can just draw a card. Then I've also got Cyclonic Rift to bounce everything to everyone's hands. Now, in terms of lands, I've run 13 mountains and 13 islands. All right, for the basics. Then I also have Cavern of Souls, which you can use to make your pirates uncounterable. So they pretty much just always land on the board if you wish them to. Command Tower, because it's why not. I have 2 land destruction cards. I've got Tectonic Edge and Ghost Quarter. This helps get rid of your opponent's cards that are kind of troublesome. Maybe like they got a Gaia's Cradle. Maybe they've got something you just want to get rid of. I've got those. And then for the non-basic lands, the rest of them, I got a Shivian Reef, Is It Boiler Works, Swiftwater Cliffs, Scalding Tarn, Steam Vents, and a Volcanic Island. That's it for my Pirate Brew. Now, I played it a couple times on Spell Table, and I really like how it plays. It could be a little bit better, and I'm going to work on that. But in terms of generating a bunch of treasures and becoming an immediate threat, I've done that too many times to count. And it's just really fun to do that kind of stuff. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Yeah, I'll put a deck list in the description below. And like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.